Welcome to a special World Series autopsy joint episode between the Down Live podcast and the Eastside Show. Uh, Today, me and Nico are not joined by our regular co-hosts,
Yes.
but I think that there's just things we need to say. And
hmm
listen, listen. All right, I after the game, I'm gonna actually walk you through my experience during the end of this game, and I think
Oh
that'll provide some
man.
context into how I'm feeling right now.
Oh man.
Okay, so I was in Ottawa. Not even we're from Toronto. I'm from Toronto. I was not in Toronto. I was in Ottawa, and during the bottom of the ninth inning, after Jeff Hoffman unfortunately gives up a home run to Miguel Rojas, I step outside the house and I go for a walk around the neighborhood to sort of calm things down at that point. When I go back inside, the game is still going on, obviously, because yeah. And then in the bottom of the 12th, when what happened, I immediately went outside again, and I sort of made a pact, if you will, that I was not going to speak about what happened in this game unless it was on the podcast, and I've held up that bargain to myself with everyone who wanted to talk to me about it. And so, sorry for the long tangent, but now we're here and now we're talking about it. But that's me.
So, listen, right? I was watching this with some friends over at college, some people I've known for a long time. Ethan knows these people too, right?
Yeah.
There's like 5, 6 of us in there. Miggy Rojas, he hits the homer. He goes deep. I get up. I'm just like, I gotta walk around my apartment really quick. I think everyone heard me like not slam my headphones down, but they all heard the sound of the headphones hitting the desk, and they're like, "Oh fuck!" And then I'm not gonna lie. After the game ended, I got up, silent. I didn't even say anything to anyone in there. I just sat in my bathroom in silence for about 30 minutes because I was just like, "What just happened? What just happened?"
Definitely a shell shock kind of, for sure.
It was it was tough. I guess there's a lot of things. Number like this is we've seen tough losses in recent memory with the Blue Jays. Like you remember the 8-1 against Seattle. That was a fucking tough one.
Certainly do remember.
That was a really tough one. Right now that seems light. That seems like nothing right now.
Oh my God,
Um
I just realized something.
what?
I was also in Ottawa for 8-1.
Listen.
Oh no.
Listen.
Oh no.
Sam,
Oh
listen to me.
no.
I better not see you in those parts ever again.
I will never be watching an elimination game there again.
Like
I legitimately, I swear to you, I did not make that connection ever until right now.
listen. Next
Anyways,
time. Next time.
next time.
But like
Anyways,
obviously like playoff losses as a whole, like yeah, they suck, but it's like, certain ones are pretty easy to just like, brush past. Like the 2023 one, I feel like it was pretty easy to brush past. It was kind of just pathetic more so than anything. Maybe
yes,
for me at least cuz I kind of saw that one coming from a mile away cuz I that team respectfully was fugazi as hell, but
that team was not a playoff team.
that
No.
team was not a playoff team. So it was kind of easy. It was a lot easier for me at least to be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that. But to lose in a fashion like this, and I wrote about this today, and I know you saw it. I saw you like my thing, but
Yes, I did.
when you are that close, you are like in theory like a couple pitches away. If it was a 3-2 count, you're like a pitch away from putting away Rojas. In like any
It's
way, right? You're a pitch away from a strikeout, and then you have 2 outs, and obviously you're at the top of their order up, but
yep.
you are theoretically a pitch away from putting Rojas away there.
You're theoretically 2 pitches away from winning the World Series because
Theoretically.
you could get a ground ball.
Theoretically, yeah. You are about as
So
close as you could possibly be without actually getting it, right? And
yes,
it's not even just that they were that close and they gave it up. It would have been one thing if Ohtani hit the home run, or Freeman hit the home run, or whoever hit the home run. It was Miguel Rojas. he had not recorded a base hit since Game 2 of the Wild Card Series against the Reds. Like, before the game. He had one earlier in the game. But he had not recorded a base hit coming into the game since the Wild Card Series against the Reds. Do you want to guess when his last home run was?
I will guess. I am going to submit a guess of August 29th,
All right.
2025.
It wasn't quite that long. But it was... What was it? Was it September? God, I had it up here a second ago. Where'd it go? It was September 9th. So he hadn't homered in almost 2 months.
Yeah, that's not a fun stat.
Out of all guys in their lineup. That's what makes it that much more worse. It would suck in any case, but, it's one thing if it's Ohtani, it's one thing if it's Freeman, one thing if it's Will Smith or Mookie Betts or Muncy or whoever. It was Miguel Rojas.
To be completely fair to Miguro, who is a professional baseball player, that was a meatball.
It was a meatball. It was.
And he hit a mistake. He hit a mistake.
You do hit everyone hits mistakes, but
Yeah.
you look at that and you're saying all you got to do is get the 9-hitter. Usually your biggest worry with the 9-hitter is, you can't get him on base for the top of the order.
Especially when the top of the order is that guy.
Yeah. That's usually what you're worrying about the most. You're not worrying about, I got to keep him in the ballpark. Just how often is the number 9 hitter on a lot of teams leaving the yard, right?
And I don't personally know Jeff Hoffman, but I gotta think that he was thinking about that while pitching to Miguro. Like, Ohtani is up next after this. That's gotta be in your head, right?
It's certainly something that comes up because you don't want to, especially in that situation, you don't want to face Ohtani with a guy on. They barely wanted to face Ohtani in that series anyways. You remember the game. You were at my place. We were watching together where they intentionally walked him like 4 times.
Yeah. And then the one time they don't, he goes deep.
Which albeit, I will say, pitching to him an okay decision. Throwing him the biggest meatball in baseball history, not the greatest decision.
Just Nona's meatball with marinara sauce from Jeff Hoffman.
Yeah.
And that Dominguez pitch earlier in the series. My goodness, man.
Yeah, that was bad. There was there was graded. They graded some parm on that too. Made it extra nice for him. It was crazy. That might be the single best hitter's pitch I've ever seen in my life.
You ever heard I guess it's kind of like a lullaby about the meatball rolling off the dinner table and out the door?
I've never heard that.
Okay, never mind then.
Never heard that. What the hell?
We can.
So,
yeah.
There, in regards to any playoff loss, certain ones, even I found the 2016 one, obviously that one sucked, especially because I had a big attachment to that core.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of other people did. That was one thing to move past, you know what I mean? They were never really in that series, so it was kind of one thing. This one was just, and I do understand that they massively exceeded expectations coming into the season. We know this. What did we say on our episode in March on your show? I don't remember if we both said this. I remember what I said. I don't remember if you said the same thing. Or
I don't remember what we said.
I know we had more. I know we had more or less the same sentiment, but I don't remember if you said the same thing. I remember what I said. I said if the stars align, they win 85 games and they sneak into a third wildcard spot. I remember that. That's
about where my expectations.
That's pretty much exactly what I said. And that is not to say that it was not a great season, or that we should not be, proud of the outcome and proud of making it there in the first place, because it's really hard to fucking make the World Series, right?
Extremely hard.
It is also still valid and okay to be damn, they were that fucking close. How did they not do it? And it's also okay to look at why did we not make it? And listen, I got a lot of different things that I can talk about in not just Game 7, but the whole series, right?
Yeah.
Number one, how many fucking RISP opportunities are you gonna squander? How many?
There's two things with that. So there's just on the surface level the risk, but also you need to, as a base runner in scoring position, you need to keep yourself in a position to score.
Yep.
And I felt like we ran into way too many outs on the bases, particularly at second base and particularly at third base.
There was
So
the
that's my thoughts on it.
IKF win in Game 3. There was the one at the start of... I don't remember what game it was at the start, if it was Game 3 or Game 4. There was the one where Varsho thought he walked, and the umpire didn't really throw up the call. Or apparently he didn't even say strike. And then Bichette thought it was a walk too, and then they got him out at first base. Obviously, stuff like that happens, and that sucks. But like,
yeah, like atrocious umpiring, but you got to play to the
at the
whistle.
same time, you just stay at first base there. If it's a walk, the guy's gonna tell you to go to second.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one in Game 3. IKF gets thrown out at third on a pretty bad advance. It was a really bad Davis Schneider send. In that one, like. I don't remember if you were still at my place for that one, but they sent him, and then he was out by like 8 miles, right?
Was it the 18 inning game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was.
Yeah, you think you were still there? It was, he was out by like 18 miles, and Vlad's on fucking deck. And what happens in that case, you probably walk Vlad to get to IKF because he's in the game at that point, but I'd still rather have bases loaded for IKF than bases empty for Vladdy. You know what I mean?
It's fundamentals, and look, what do our coaches tell us when we're young? You don't make the third out of the inning
at third base. Especially because, like, this team especially has, like, prided themselves on, like, the little things, right? You know, maybe getting that extra out or getting that extra base on a first to third type of situation or a second to home type of thing, right? But now it's like you're running yourself into a lot of outs here. At the start of Game 7, you remember the one where Springer, he starts going, and then he just stops going, because I guess he thought it was ball 4, even though it was very obviously a strike.
Again, not playing to the whistle. It's basic fundamentals. You got to do it.
It's like he stopped running. It's like you got to keep running there. But there's a whole lot of those. There was blowing a million opportunities with runners in scoring position, and I'm not even just talking about Game 7. They did it in Game 6. They did it in Game 3. Not as much in Game 2 because Yamamoto just dominated them. But like Game 3, it felt like they had endless amount of opportunities to put it away in that 18-inning game. Game 6, they had opportunities. You had literally 2 men in scoring position with 0 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And the game's over in 3 pitches. Because, I mean, I'm not going to put blame on Ernie because, I mean, the guy was on fire all series. But he swings at a first pitch above the zone. And what did we say that Glasnow's looking for there? He said he's looking for a pop-up. We said it right before. I remember this. We said it right to Harsh. We said, yo, you got to look high because he's going to look for a pop-up. You got to be ready for that. And then he pops up on the first pitch. It was a pitch above the zone. And it's like, man. And then
Jimenez... You listen to Josh Donaldson a little too much. If the coach tells you to get on top of the ball, tell him no and pop up for the first out in a potentially series-ending inning.
Yeah. And then Jimenez, he hits the line out, and then Barger gets a little too far off the bag. I want to say something really quick. I haven't really seen this brought up much. I don't remember if I said this. I'm pretty sure I said, you know, I'd like to see Schneider hitting here when we were watching it. I'm pretty sure I said that. Do you want to know why the outfield was playing in? Do you want to know why they were playing in?
I would love to know why.
It's not a hard guess. It's very easy to deduct. It's because it was fucking Andres Jimenez batting, right? You know me. You know how much I clamored for Davis Schneider to get more playing time, right?
And rightfully so.
And I am not going to say that him batting there changes the series. He very well could have done the exact same thing. But you have to give yourself the best possible opportunity. Sometimes the best play doesn't always work, right? Sometimes you do the right call, and it doesn't work, right? Sometimes it happens. He very well could have done the same thing. He could have struck out there, for all we know. But the outfielders are playing in there. And I think a lot of people missed that. In part, because Andres Jimenez does not have any lick of power. And so that allows them to play in. You can kind of give up the extra base hit because you're like, the chances of that happening are a lot slimmer than him hitting something kind of weak. That we can keep even a ground ball single. We can keep the guy from scoring from second. Or if we get a liner, then we're going to, in theory, keep the guy at second. Or, in that case, I don't even think they were expecting that to happen, but they doubled him off. Am I going to say that that's one of the worst things that happened all series? No, because there was a lot worse. Do you want to guess the offer for Dalton Varsho with Risp in Game 6 and 7? Just Varsho alone?
Just Varsho alone. I'll say 5.
He was 0 for
5.
9.
0 for 9 in 2 games?
0 for 9 in 2 games there.
Holy Varsho.
If I'm remembering the stat correctly, it might have just been overall. I'm pretty sure it was just specifically with Risp. Pretty sure like pretty much all his ABs came with Risp.
I mean, that it makes sense that they all came with Risp, but my goodness.
Like, and you know what's crazy? I don't have anything to count and quantify this. Let me know if you feel like you saw the same thing. It felt like everything he hit was a ground ball at the second baseman. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, so what I see a lot in Dalton Varsho's at-bats when he's kind of pressing and scuffling is that, so he knows that one of his weak spots is the high fastball, and he knows to sort of look for that. He knows that one of his strength areas is down and in. He sort of golfs a lot of his home runs out in that zone. What I see him do with these like ground outs to the second baseman is roll over on low and away pitches. And that's one area of the zone specifically where he needs to be a consistent hitter in this league. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. He needs to clean that up. But I saw that all playoffs long, and he had good series in those playoffs. Like in the ALDS, he was great. But
he was on fire against the Yankees. But that's what
and
it
look,
felt like.
I'm sure the Blue Jays coaching staff knows this. But yeah.
And sometimes it just happens. Like a slump just happens at the bad time. Sometimes that's just what it is. Slump happens, and it's kind of just at the bad time. You have I broke this down in like 99% of cases. I think that playoff rising and dropping in the sport kind of doesn't actually exist. Like, you know how people revere David Ortiz a lot as a postseason legend, and rightfully so, right? He's a career like 144 WRC plus hitter, has numerous iconic moments, but
he's a winning player.
You would also forget that he has numerous postseasons like 2008, 2009, 2016. Where he was just plain just not good, right? Yeah. And that is not to say that he should get flack for those. That's just to say it just kind of happens sometimes. You know what I mean?
And it's not like anyone would place the Blue Jays losing the World Series on Dalton Varsho. It absolutely slumps happen. Like
a lot of things went wrong. It's on a lot more than just Hoffman giving up the home run, Varsho for slumping when he did. Also, you know what else is crazy? That's what it felt like he was doing the whole time, and especially with I want to talk about that bases loaded play really quick. I've seen a lot of discourse around that. Right?
Run us through it.
Number one, I just want to put out how unfortunate it is that a hitter he did not qualify for leaderboards, but if he did, his ground ball rate would have been the 3rd lowest in the league, and he just so happens to rip a ground ball right at the second baseman. Also, I don't know if you saw IKF's secondary lead. I need a bigger secondary on that. He was like...
When he was on third, right?
Yeah. He was like half as close to the bag as Muncy was. And
I need him to play like it's Game 7 of the World Series.
I need us to be a little bit further off the bag. And I understand we're scared of a line out here. But I want you to guess what number is higher. Dalton Varsho lineouts to third base his entire career, or my fingers on my right hand. I want you to guess what number is higher. I want you to guess what number is higher.
Say it again. Sorry. Say it again.
I want you to guess which number is higher, okay? The amount of career lineouts to third base that Dalton Varsho has, or the amount of fingers on my right hand. We'll exclude my thumb from this conversation.
I think he has 3 career lineouts to third base.
Okay, if I remember the number correctly, it's like 1 like true line out, like actual like line drive, not counting those little like weak ones that like are like line outs technically, but they're just like, really weak hit. Sometimes you break your bat or whatever else, right?
One is crazy.
One is absolutely real like line drive out at third base.
No, he doesn't.
That is equivalent to the amount of thumbs I have on my right hand for anybody listening. And
he doesn't hit the ball. He doesn't hit the ball the other way.
That is one of the things that, like, IKF has said, like, this is what we have to be fearful of, right? Respectfully, we need to be a lot more comfortable, and this isn't just go for this play as a whole. We need to understand our actual personnel and what they do and how that differs from, like, traditional ideas, right?
Yes.
If that hitter doesn't ever fucking hit the ball there, I'm not going to guard against that. Or I'm going to take that into account. I'm going to say, okay, well, he never hits it here. So I can go a little bit further off. And if he takes an appropriate secondary lead when you take that into account, the World Series is won by the Blue Jays in the ninth.
Yes.
Right?
And I will throw IKF a bone in the fact that, in that situation, in the biggest situation of the year, maybe you don't want to play the percentages and you just want to whatever mindset you want to take. Like you said, you need to understand your personnel. I'm not 100% sure on what I'm about to say, but I'll say that I can only remember, and I have watched basically every Blue Jays game since the start of the 2022 season at this point. I can remember one Dalton Varsho opposite field home run. It was against Kansas City in 2023.
The guy does not go oppo. He
does not go up.
You know what he is? He's a pulled fly ball demon. That's what he is.
He understands the meta. He does.
And it's like a runner at first base. You know another guy who never went oppo was fucking Joey Bats. And
No,
so you remember what the defense always did? They always shifted hard pull. Because he was a pull demon. He, in the span of like 3 years, he had like one opposite field home run. 2015, he had one oppo home run the whole year. I don't think he had any 2016, or he had like one or two. I don't know, but
yeah, at that point in his career, yeah,
it's that kind of thing. Like you have to know these things, right?
You absolutely have to know these things.
It's just like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna think, oh well, what if Dalton Varsho goes oppo here when the guy never fucking goes oppo? If it's a 1 in a million chance and it just so happens there, then you know what? At that point, you know what? It just is what it is. Because you know what I say. Sometimes you can make the right play and it can just not work out. It happens all the time. But you have to give yourself the best chance to win, right?
Yeah. If the line out to third base happens and you get doubled off, playing the percentages the way that you probably would want to be playing them, you take it and you move on to the top of the 12th, honestly, because you played your best game. And obviously me and Nico don't mean to dogpile on IKF. You win and lose as a team.
I'm not going to say that it's just IKF in that situation, because I'm sure it's, he's getting instructed to do that.
It's Carlos Fablis too.
Carlos Fablis. It's probably whoever's in those conversations. But listen, I'm going to tell you a thing that I thought of. You know what I think happened?
What happened?
I think they got mad scared after what happened at the end of Game 6. Because this is kind of what happened after the 8-1 game. They got mad PTSD from what happened in that game, and they said, we got to move away from everything that happened there. We've seen that type of thinking with this org before. It's not the first time that we've seen it. Right?
Yeah.
It's not the first time.
It's definitely, managers aren't robots. Like, these guys have trauma from past playoff performances too, and so like it would make sense. Yeah.
That's what I think happened personally. Again, I'm not in the clubhouses. I'm not part of these conversations with them, so I don't know. I'm a fan. I'm speculating. That's what it feels like. It feels like they saw that happen and they're like, "Oh shit! Like we can't let that happen." But yeah, those kind of things blow. And the fucking Will Smith home run, crushed, bro, crushed that. You know what's funny? I remember I was at my nephew's second birthday party earlier that day, right? And I'm talking with my cousin, right? And he's like, what would be your plan coming out of the pen? And I'm like, well, first thing, it depends if Scherzer has to leave the game really early, like second, third inning, he gets to do a jam, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm probably going to one of the high leverage guys first to get out of a jam, Sir Anthony, Varland, whoever, and then maybe you go someone to bridge a couple innings, Bieber or whoever, right? And he was thinking, oh, I would think you go to Bieber first. You go like mostly starters this game. And I remember thinking, you know, the home runs that Bieber was giving up kind of spooks me a little bit.
Terrifying.
I remember thinking that earlier in the day. And then on the fifth pitch he throws, after he comes in, hanging meatball.
Horrible pitch.
Meatball.
Sorry. Horrible.
That would go great with some pasta, bro.
It would be a Michelin star meal.
It would be.
In fact, that might be the meatiest meatball I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if you felt the same way. All series, I was most terrified of Will Smith. I don't know if it was just you, and I swear to God I thought this before. I'm not bullshitting because of that. He scared me more than anyone that entire series. I shit
Ohtani
you.
looked downright human at some point.
Outside of Game 4, Ohtani was like, yeah, no, like, you know what, he's just like, he's a guy, but...
Mookie Betts had a pretty awful series.
Mookie Betts was kind of terrible. Freddie Freeman was like, he wasn't doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
Will Smith was legitimately like the only one that whole series that like struck straight fear into my like in an Aaron Judge way, which sounds ridiculous to say because they have fucking Ohtani in their lineup. But Will Smith was the only one there who like actually like struck like mad fear, and I was like scared every time he was at the plate.
It's very fair, and here's what I'd say in response to that. For all of our pitchers, I found myself most nervous when Shane Bieber was pitching. I am terrified of the home run ball in the playoffs, and he just can't seem to get away with his mistakes right now. So that was my view of it.
I don't remember if I said this to you. I mean, I know I said it on my end with Ethan. I don't remember if I said it to you too. For anyone listening on my end, if you watched our championship series and World Series previews, one thing that I specifically talked about with the Shane Bieber matchups against the Mariners and the Dodgers, one thing that's good, gets a decent amount of ground balls. You like that. You like keeping the ball out of the air. But he also somehow has given up a decent amount of home runs since he's come back from his injury. I said that in regards to both teams. And, he was kind of up and down, right? He had a very good outing at Seattle, and then he had a not-so-great one. And then, against the Dodgers too, right? And then he comes out of the pen. And what do we say rules the postseason? What do we say is king? Pull fly balls, home runs. Home runs are king, respectfully.
Home runs are absolutely king.
We can, again, every year people try to play the small ball gimmick. No, it's not. There's like 70, 80 plus years of history that'll prove you wrong. Home runs rule in the postseason.
In this conversation, people used to bring up the 2015 Royals, and I used to bring them up until you told me, and I realized, they hit home runs fine in the playoffs.
It was fine in the playoffs. Like, and even so, it wasn't their offense that got them all the way there. It was the fact that their pitching was ridiculous. If they scored 4 or 5 runs, it was enough to get it done, right? Even in the regular season, they were like a borderline top 10 offense. And also, sometimes you just get hot in the playoffs. It happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think about Cleveland in the sort of the mid to late 2010s. I think about how they sort of singled us to death in 2016 in the ALCS. And then I think about how that World Series went. And, they were one Rajai Davis home run away from, like, not even being in that game as late as it went.
Exactly.
It's the home run. It is the home run.
It is the home run. It's always been the home run. Like, the team that hits more home runs in a given game, I don't know what the record was for this postseason, but in the last couple postseasons, it's like 95 and like 20 or something like that.
Yeah, whatever the stat was that you told me last year, yeah.
It's something like that. I don't remember the exact number. I could get it pretty easily. I could just pull up my blog again, but it's something like that.
The home run is king, for sure.
Yeah, it's always been king.
So what other areas of the World Series do you want to dig into here?
I want to dig into another thing really quick. Vlad gets on second base, 11th inning, double, easy, right? I wrote, listen, a very similar situation happened early in the playoffs, and I wrote about exactly why it was a losing play. I don't remember if I talked about it with you. For anyone who, on my end, on the down the line end, who listened to our championship series preview, we went over all the division series matchups as well in that episode if you hadn't listened. I talked about Phillies-Dodgers Game 2. A very similar thing happened here. Nick Castellanos leads off the ninth of the double. The Dodgers are up by 1. Phillies are down 1. Bryson Stott comes up, guy in scoring position, and he lays down a bunt to try to get Castellanos at third. Now, obviously, that one ended a lot more, kind of, in much more disaster than this play did. But that was a losing play. And I understand it's IKF hitting here. I think this was a losing play too, and I'm going to tell you exactly why, right? In this scenario, heuristically, there's a few outcomes that you're kind of fearing here, right? And some of them are actually quite valid, because one of them I'm going to say was actually decently likely to happen. You are fearing a pop-up, a flyout to left field, or any shallow flyout really, a strikeout, or a pulled ground out. A pulled ground out, I'll give you. He actually had a lot of pulled ground balls in the regular season, so I'll give that one to you. But you have to keep in mind that in any of those cases, you still have a runner in scoring position, right? Now, I want you to take into account all of the other outcomes, right? Deeper flyouts, groundouts to the right side, any form of base knock, which I understand. A single? I understand IKF is not like a good hitter. He's not there for his offense.
No.
I understand that.
I was gonna say he wasn't a good hitter this year. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is still a professional baseball player. Mm-hmm. This guy had 172 hits in one season with Texas. Mm-hmm. Like, he can hit a single in his sleep. He's not a good hitter this year, and he hasn't been since 2024 with the Jays before he went to Pittsburgh.
Well, ironically, he was like a league average hitter and was like actually totally fine.
Like, do I trust him to get a single? I trust him to try.
I trust him to try. And at the end of the day, I'm willing to take my chances on, even if, he pops out and you still have a runner in scoring position, I don't think that much changes between guy on second, 1 out, or guy on third, no out. I guess if the guy's on third, like, obviously sack fly scores him now. But I think that is worth the risk to try to get any of the other numerous outcomes, right? Because if you're laying down the bunt, you are conceding that out. You are giving the Dodgers an out in the situation for free in exchange for moving the runner. And they obviously wanted nothing to do with Barger, right? And the thing here is, and one of my friends who I was watching this with, me and him, we both said, Kirk double play is kind of scary here, because Kirk kind of runs a high ground ball rate. It's in about like the top 40 or 50 so in all hitters in the league. And of course, what happens, right? Is exactly what happens. In a lot of cases, I thought they probably would have intentionally walked Varsho. I think they like intentionally walked him. To be honest with you, I think they just didn't want anything to do with him. They're like, all right, if you want to chase something, go for it, but we're not going to give you anything to hit. But to be honest, again, I don't think second or third base for Vladdy changes much for me. And I'm willing to take my chances to try and see if IKF can just slap a single through the right side. Or slap a single over somebody's head. Because there's even a chance that, depending on where he hits it, he can score Vlad. Right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think the chances of that, or again, even that he just hits a deep fly out or a ground out to the right side or something, and then we're just kind of where we ended up being anyways. Those, when you combine all of those potential outcomes and how they stack up against what you're kind of hoping wouldn't happen, or what would happen, I would much rather take my chances with that than the sack bunt there. But again, am I going to say that that's all IKF? No, obviously there's guys that are telling him, all right, do this. Like, there's signs and everything. It'd be stupid to blame it all on IKF for that situation, right? Because we've seen him swing the bat before. We've seen it happen. Respectfully, I don't like a bunt there. I don't like a bunt there, and I think that's a losing play.
It is a losing play.
It is a losing play. Just literally handing them a free out when you have a guy in scoring position. I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't like that. If you hit into an out any other way, then I guess, it is what it is. But I don't like handing them a free out in most situations. I mean, I guess you know me. I'm anti-sack bunt FC, but I don't,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that play there, regardless of who's batting. I don't like, I don't really like the play here. And then, the Kirk one, it is what it is, I guess. Although I do gotta say, he kind of stared at a hanging curveball earlier in that AB. And
I do remember that. Didn't love the
I
take.
remember me and one of the other people on the call. We were like, "Yo, I need a swing here." Like that's one you could totally just rip down the line. Pause.
Shout out.
Shout out. You can totally rip that one down the left field line or like in the left center or something like that and get a base hit. You can totally do that. We've seen Kirk do that a number of times.
Yeah,
But
I didn't love the series from him offensively, to be honest with you.
he was
Didn't
up and
love it.
down. It was totally up and down. It is what it is, I guess. But
It certainly is what it is. Let's be honest. Let's call it out for what it is. It's heartbreaking,
it is.
and you know, and there's some people who might not be as emotionally equipped even to deal with that. If we're being totally honest,
Yep.
and my heart breaks for them. And like deep playoff runs. This is what this they have deep ramifications for
Yep.
their locales. I was interviewing the CEO of the West Hill Baseball League last summer for a story I was writing, and he told me that, look, in this is a Toronto-based youth baseball league. He said, look, in 2015 and 2016, when the Jays were really good and making the playoffs and making headlines, we saw a massive uptick in enrollment in the youth baseball program. Like,
Mhm.
it's massive in a lot of ways, and it is heartbreaking.
Like especially to see the city rally behind the team in a way that we haven't really seen before. We didn't see it like this in 22 or in 23 when they made the playoffs that year. I don't know about you. I didn't really see it like this, right?
I probably heard more about the Jays in mainstream circles in 2021 when they didn't even make the playoffs, to be honest.
When they had that, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And honestly, number one, it was kind of beautiful to see everyone rally behind. And listen, I don't know if you saw it, like especially people that we know. It's like you're scrolling on your Instagram reels and you see someone they like this baseball reel, like you would never like the baseball reel in your life, and you're looking at them and it's
But
like
it is a beautiful thing.
and,
It is a beautiful
it is a beautiful thing. I'm not gonna lie, kind of elitism is in me. I'm not trying to gatekeep, but I'm like I look at things like that. I'm like, yeah, you don't even know who a Melky Cabrera is, do you?
You don't even remember Brad Hand.
Bro, this guy does not know who Kyle Drabeck is, bro. They don't know.
Ooh.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. Nah, but it's kind of beautiful to see the city like rally behind the team like that, and you can see it in the amount of people like writing, Jay stuff like or wearing Jay stuff around, the Jays flags like on the cars and stuff like
Even
that.
after they lost.
Even after, to be honest, but I remember I was
Apparently Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was like waiting for a bus in Oakville on my way to my nephew's second birthday party, right? And as I was waiting at the bus stop, I'm seeing like people in the cars. Like there's this one has the flag and they honk their horn at me and they're like, hell yeah, like let's go. And there's a few cars and they were all looking, like a lot of them they turned to look at me and it's like tonight because it was the night of Game 7, right? Or I guess it was like the day I was there at like 12, but. Like
Yeah,
that
and
stuff
here's
you
ano-
wouldn't have seen 2-3 years ago, even if they were in the postseason.
Here's another one. Yeah, like when's the last time you talked to so many strangers? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, it's just the unity was really nice to see, and even after they lost, the day after, I heard that the J shop at the stadium was packed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's tough for it to end that way. Can I highlight a positive thing
Let's hear it.
from the playoffs? We obviously saw Vladdy get a ton of praise, and rightfully so, for the insane postseason he had.
All-time run. Also, let's not
Ernie
forget.
Clement.
I'm so glad. I was gonna say the fucking Earn Dog.
Yeah, Ernie Clement. So
I've been saying
he broke-
pretty much all postseasons. Like, I've been trying to. I have a few tweets on there, but it's like, yeah, I have a few tweets where I'm like, yeah, I know Ernie or I know Vlad's on another planet, But yo, let's show some love to the fucking Earn Dog, bro. Absolute
Breaks
king.
a postseason record for hits in a single postseason with 30. And like this guy was unbelievable. I don't think there's any other way I can put it.
Mm-hmm.
He was absolutely unbelievable, and he's getting his flowers for it, and rightfully so. But I think he needs more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The guy was ridiculous. Hit like almost 400 in the playoffs or something like that. Absolutely ridiculous. Him and Vlad, absolutely like all-time runs, right? I remember before the season started, right? You know, you see all like the projections on what the lineup might look like and this and that, right? And I remember a lot of projections that kind of held Ernie out of the lineup. And I was always confused on that. I always was. Even back then, I was like, he was a league average hitter with solid defense. Like, that's going to find a way into the lineup, right?
Yeah.
And during the season,
it's gonna find
during the regular season, he was, again, a league average hitter with elite defense. Should have got a gold glove, but we'll get to that later. And then he does the thing where he gets hot at the right time. And he's one of the hottest hitters on the planet for pretty much all of October. And we'll get into technicality there. November as well, because why not? Yeah, breaks the record. And do you know who also tied that previous record too?
Who's that?
It was Vlad. They were both right there. They were both right there.
Listen, Vlad gets paid to be insane. Ernie Clement.
Vlad, we expect him to go crazy. We don't expect Ernie Clement to break the all-time playoff hit record, right? We don't.
Actually, I want to say a few things about the metrics and projections and stuff with him that you brought up and the Gold Glove snub. So, yes, this year he was by OPS plus slightly below league average hitter.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am racking my brain, and I don't think there is a team in this league that Ernie Clement could not be in the starting lineup on.
Oh, he would
whether
be.
it's at third, second, or short. Probably every team, right?
A lot of the times, like we say, I remember we said this before the season with Dalton Varsho. If you're that good on defense, you don't really have to be like good on offense. You have to be good enough. And
It certainly is good.
we said with like Varsho, like if you give me a 90 WC plus with your defense, I'm happy. Clement, you give me, he was basically league average. We'll say he's league average with Gold Glove caliber defense. You fucking take that every day of the week, twice on Sunday, probably three times on Saturday. Maybe an extra time somewhere during the week, depending, on what you like.
If you can have some sort of hit tool, which he does in a big way, if you can run into one every once in a while, if you can give me 7 home runs a year, I'm not asking for like 20, and Ernie can do that. He can absolutely run into one every once in a while.
Absolutely, every once in a while. And excuse me. You know what? I have a take.
What's
I
your
have
take?
a take. And this is because Ernie does a certain thing really well. I think Ernie is due for a little bit of a spike in power next year.
Listen, when he hits fly balls, which isn't often, he hits a lot of pop-ups. When he hits fly balls, they're pulled, man.
Listen. 22.2% pulled air ball rate.
Yeah, man.
That's good, man. That's good. I'm just saying.
I didn't even know the stats. That's just eye test. Like, he does that shit.
I'm just putting it out there for the people. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little bit of a spike in power next year. And I'm not saying he's going to turn into a 30, 40 home run guy. You could see him pop
like
15, right?
15, 17 isn't out of the question.
If I could definitely see anywhere between like 15 and 20 from him.
I mean, like, he had 12 in 2024.
Mm-hmm. And like,
so,
it's more than in play, I think. Maybe gets that bat speed up a little bit. I can totally see it. Because
he can sneaky run into.
I understand that he's like doesn't hit the ball super hard or like barrel it a whole ton. That's kind of why you want to pull the ball. It can kind of make up for that a lot of the time.
You know who's kind of the opposite, and this is a guy who doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but when he hits home runs, his swing would make you think that he hits a ton of them.
Who?
Is Andres Gimenez.
Oh my God, yeah.
That guy's swing is beautiful. When he hits a home run, it's like watching Ken Griffey Jr. or something.
Oh my God, no, you're totally right.
No pop.
But there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
And I'll be fair. Shout out to him for what he did in the Seattle series with
Yep.
his 2 big home runs. Big up for that, for sure. But yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. That's not the norm.
There is first week Andres Jimenez does not happen very often.
No. And when that happens, he can be a cleanup hitter, and it can work for about a week. But yeah.
And then after that, for the extra 150 games of the season, you're like, all right, let's roll back a little bit.
Yeah, then you need to cobble something together with it's Anthony Santander, who then subsequently gets injured, and Dalton Varsho, who can't really be in that spot all the time, and Alejandro Kirk, who can't really be in that spot all the time. As good as this team was, there's things that you need to see change lineup construction-wise for next year, but that's a next year.
I do respectfully. I need us to just bat our best hitters in a certain order and stop playing the left-right gimmick every single time.
Yeah.
With all due respect, listen, if a guy's cold, move him down. I don't need to do left-right just because the guy's hot or just because it's a left-right thing. Listen, if a guy... Ernie was batting 8th like all series. I think maybe except the Blake Snell games. Respectfully, at a certain point, I need to see him hitting higher than 8th. If he's that red hot.
Agree.
I need to see it. I understand left-right. You don't want to give him a matchup. I'm sorry. Listen, if the guy's red hot, I don't care. Stop playing the gimmick, bro.
Is there any other aspects of the World Series, or are we moving on to the next item of the docket?
I guess we can move on to the next item on the docket. I don't really have much else to say on the World Series. I think I've kind of said it all.
Right.
I've said it all between and I did the article. I've kind of said it all.
I think I poured my heart out a little bit. I feel better.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that then.
All right. So you want to talk? You want to talk about? I know you want to talk about Gold Glove stuff.
I do. I'll briefly. I forgot to talk about that with Ernie Clement. Yeah. So I'll just briefly mention it. He was, as we know, nominated for AL Gold Glove at third base and utility, and a lot of the guys, if anyone listening is a wins above replacement person, a lot of his wins above replacement was predicated on the fact that this guy is an insane defender.
Mm-hmm.
He led the league in DRS at all positions, not just third base.
Yeah.
And I think that has to get you a Gold Glove. I'm sorry. If you're statistically better than everyone else at doing a certain thing, and there's an award for that certain thing, can I get the damn award?
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on that. I'll briefly mention, again, the other one, which is Alejandro Kirk. So Dylan Dingler wins it instead of him. Dingler is a great defensive catcher, not to take anything away from him, but Kirk's numbers were just flat out better in almost every defensive category, so I don't really understand that one.
I'm going to name you all of the American League players with a higher outs above average than Ernie Clement, right? You ready for this list? So Bobby Witt Jr., which, duh.
Great player.
Ceddanne Rafaela, again, spectacular defender. Mauricio Dubon, and Michael Garcia. That's it.
Good player.
That's it.
4 guys, eh?
That is it. Ernie Clement is 5th in the AL in outs above average. He has the highest number for any third baseman. Now, granted, that's not all accumulated at third. Which, hey, is an even better argument for the utility Gold Glove.
It is.
But it is what it is.
You know who famously won the utility Gold Glove? Baby Food.
Baby Food.
Baby Food the first, actually. Not Baby Food the second, who is still playing with the Yankees. The first one.
Baby Food the first. Yeah. Dylan Dingler, like that. Ernie Clement should have got one, whether it was utility or third. He kind of, respectfully, I need one there. I kind of need one, respectfully.
Dylan Dingler's numbers weren't that far behind Kirk's, but because Kirk's were better in most categories, I kind of need one there.
Yeah, no. Like, I just... Kirk, or the Clement one, it's kind of tough because it's like... Okay, now that I'm actually looking at it, hot take, I actually don't think I would have given Clement over Garcia or Dubon now that I'm actually looking at who had it. But
third base is an interesting one.
That one's a kind of tough one because Garcia, I think, gets at third base, and Dubon did get the utility one, and, understandable. He was second in the AL, and I was above average, so I kind of get it. The Kirk one, yeah, I'm sorry, that should have just gone to Kirk. Like, I'm sorry, that one's a hell no. Jimenez maybe could have got it at second, but I understand the missed games played. even
Yeah,
with
and
that.
then Vladdy was nominated at first, but Ty France was much better.
Ty
That's all
France,
there really is to it.
you remember how much I said if anyone's gonna get a Gold Glove, it's Ty France. Like it's not close. He should get it first base. You
And,
remember how much I
and he
said
got
that?
one, and he deserved it.
He did.
So,
He deserved it. It wasn't
no,
even close. Like 10 outs above average at first base is genuinely just like stupid.
yeah, no problems there.
Especially
No
considering
problems.
later part of the year he wasn't really playing all that much.
Kind of never.
So, you know, it kind of is what it is. Like
Yeah.
the next highest AL first baseman and outs above average, I'm looking. It's Cody Clemens at 3.
Odie Clemens, shout out.
Assuming
to
I'm
that
reading
man.
this right. Yeah, because Ryan O'Hearn's there, but he spent like half the year in the NL. I don't know if this chart is counting his numbers there, but respectfully, Ty France is just kind of like that on defense. And you know what else is funny? Whenever they played him, I swear to God, it was at DH, which I think is hilarious.
It is.
Genuinely hilarious.
I would have loved to see them, if you needed a righty power bat in a big pinch hit spot and you wanted to keep France in the game at first for defense. I don't see why you can't move Vlad to third for like 1 inning.
Ooh, Vlad the third. Look at that.
He's not a good defensive third baseman by any means, but like you can get away with it for 1 inning.
For an
if you
inning,
wanted
you
to
can
keep
do
the
it.
fight. Yeah.
For an inning, you can do it.
And also, he's played a ton of third base in his life, so it's not ridiculous.
That's true. I remember when he was third base in the minors. I'd gone down to Buffalo a few times. I remember seeing him at third, and I was like, I don't know if you're a third baseman, respectfully.
He played some in 2019 as well.
He did when he came out, but I'm kind of glad he's found his footing at first base because it suits the guy a lot more. I'll say
He's a first baseman. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the Gold Glove stuff I just wanted to briefly touch on. I don't really have anything more to say about it other than they should have got he deserved at least Alejandro Kirk for sure.
Yeah, Kirk should have got that, but I guess it's kind of is what it is. I guess. Yeah, and awards are getting revealed soon. A lot of the major ones. I kind of thought about doing this while we were actually doing the Gold Glove thing. Do you want to have a little mini award show?
We can have a little
mini award show? All right, let's give
Let me
out.
pull up.
Let's give out some major awards. I did not plan this before. I genuinely thought about this while we were talking about the Gold Glove stuff. Like, we should just do an award show.
Let me just pull up the nominees, and I should be good to go on that.
Award finally. Let me pull up all the finalists here. All right.
If the web page would load, that would be fantastic.
So yeah, we'll do MVP, we'll do Cy Young, and we'll do Rookie of the Year. If you want to do like Hank Aaron or something, respectfully, I don't care to do Manager of the Year.
I don't care to do Manager of the Year. We just did Gold Glove. I don't care to do Silver Slugger, honestly.
Yeah, that's valid.
So yeah, we can start with MVP.
MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year. I have a feeling I have a feeling for both of us, we might have the same MVP picks as Hank Aaron. So I don't know if you want to do that, unless you have different picks. Then in case we'll do that. We'll go MVPs. Which league you want to start in, Sam?
Let's go AL MVP. Give me Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Now Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs, and he plays catcher, and he's a good catcher. And he hit more home runs than Aaron Judge. Great, fantastic. Aaron Judge is not human. That guy deserves the MVP every year he plays a full healthy season because his numbers are just not real.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's Aaron Judge, and we kind of did like, for anyone listening on my end, we did a in sometime in August, we kind of like talked about like awards and like all the narratives surrounding awards. And one of the things and we talked about it a few other times after that too, was like the AL MVP race, because that was one of the that's I think is still like the tightest race. I still got to say I defo think it's Judge, but what I will say again is, just like Sam said, Aaron Judge is just not a human. That guy, cyborg, alien, something like that, whatever you want to call it, whatever he actually is. he's not a human. He's not one of us. That guy is different. I do want to give Kyle Raleigh his flowers, and anyone listening should know I am not hating on Kyle Raleigh. In fact, I have given him his flowers numerous times on the pod. I have taken every opportunity to give him every bit of praise that he deserves, because this is one of the greatest catching seasons in Major League history. That does not make it more worthy of an MVP season than Aaron Judge, or an MVP award, than Aaron Judge, considering Aaron Judge, with all due respect, was better. His WRC plus was like 40 points higher. His slugging was, despite the gap in home runs, almost 100 points higher. His OBP was almost 100 points higher. With
and look,
all due
Cal Raleigh
respect, he's just kind of like that.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh probably wins an MVP with this season, most seasons, but Aaron Judge exists right now, so that's it.
That's the thing.
In the NL, who do you got?
Shohei Ohtani. I feel like that's one of the easiest ones. Kind of clear cut.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lock for me too. He basically did the exact same thing he did last year, minus the stolen bases, and he still stole 20 bags.
Yeah,
which
and
is a lot.
there was a little bit of pitching in there. I think the big thing is this year, the competition for him was a lot weaker this year. He was pretty clearly the MVP last year too, but for a good chunk, like right until like the very end, Lindor gave him a pretty good run for his money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that one, I gotta say, it's Ohtani. Another season of pretty much exactly what you would expect, and what you expect is just for him to be just a straight demon. He's just absolutely different. Like, was the best hitter in the NL by a pretty comfortable margin. 172 WRC plus, led the NL. Next highest was Juan Soto at 156. Led the NL in WAR pretty comfortably. Although I will say, someone who I think deserves some sleeper consideration was Geraldo Perdomo. That guy was insane this season. 140 WRC plus, elite defense at a premium position. Was a 7-win player, second in the NL. Sneaky right there. Somehow wasn't a finalist. I don't know if he ends up being like 5th or something when the voting is all done.
I mean, home runs are still the sexiest thing.
It is the sexiest thing. It's the thing that catches your eye, but Perdomo probably should have been a finalist. So I just want to give him his flowers over there.
Excellent season.
Excellent season from him. I just want to give him his flowers while we had a little opportunity right here to talk about stuff like that. But yeah, Ohtani's just different. Like undeniably for me the MVP.
It's not even a conversation.
It's not a conversation there. Like the AL, you can at least have the conversation, and you can at least play for example, like the gap in WAR is close enough. Like it's a 1-win difference. Aaron Judge, if you're looking at F4, it's like a 1-win difference. Judge is at 10.1, Raleigh's at 9.1. So you can at least have a conversation about all the other things there. And Ohtani and Perdomo, I guess like those two are close enough. But respectfully, Ohtani's he just was killing it all season. I don't really think there's a conversation that's anyone but Ohtani. Do we want to go Cy Young, or do you want to say something else really quick?
Yeah. I was just gonna glaze Ohtani more, but yeah, we can go Cy Young. I'll give you my AL Cy Young. It could be a conversation, but I'm giving it fairly easily to Tarek Skubal.
I feel like the Cy Youngs are actually both pretty easy. They're both real easy.
Yeah. So, listen, he had an unbelievable season last year, and he was actually better this year in a lot of statistical categories. And the thing I look at, so we'll get into the stats. The thing I look at in terms of eye test with Tarek Skubal is just the dominance. And there's tons of pitchers that put up really good numbers in terms of ERA, in terms of FIP, in terms of racking up strikeouts. But you watch them in a game and they don't quite look as fearsome as Tarek Skubal. Like, if I had to pick like one starting pitcher that I would not want to step in the box against, it would probably be the guy that can throw 103 on the last pitch of a complete game in the ninth inning. It's unbelievable.
Kind of stupid. It's like actually stupid. Like this guy is genuinely just different. Like this guy will average 98 on his 4-seam. Will throw in a sinker in there. Even like his changeup is 88. Like and then he'll throw in like an 81 mile an hour curveball and completely fuck your shit up.
Yeah, we
His
actually need to talk about his changeup. Is one of the most valuable pitches in all of baseball on a
25
rate
run
basis.
value, which is
Unbelievable.
ridiculous. I'm gonna see quickly how that stacks up compared to any other individual pitch because I have a feeling that's probably near the top for
I
any.
remember from writing my changeup article, it's the most valuable changeup at least.
Let's see. Can I sort this by pitch individually? I don't know how to do that on Savant here. Regardless, absolutely like stupid good pitch. His changeup is ridiculous. All his pitches are really good. He doesn't have a sleeper pitch. At worst, like his curveball is like a whatever pitch. That's kind of where it's like at its worst. His changeup is
And
fastball. His
he
slider's
doesn't
really
rely
good. His
on it.
sinker, yeah, it's true. He doesn't throw a whole lot of them compared to everything else, but you know,
240 something strikeouts.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like
man.
he'll
He's that
throw in
guy.
the slider. He'll get you to chase. You'll chase his changeup. You won't be able to catch up to his fastball. He doesn't fucking walk guys. Like one thing that a lot of big strikeout guys do is they sacrifice location. He doesn't do that. He has some of the best strikeout rates in the league and like one of the best walk rates in the league too. He doesn't allow much hard contact. He allows, in fact, a lot of weak contact while getting guys to chase and getting guys to whiff and not walking guys. And there's nothing you can do. And we're in trouble. We're all in trouble. And it's hope
There's
and pray.
nothing fugazi about Terry School.
It is hope and pray when you're in the box against him, and that's legitimately not an exaggeration. He is
If
just
this guy only threw a four-seam fastball and a changeup, he would still be like an amazing pitcher.
if you combine just the run value on his four seam and his changeup, you get a run value of 37. That would be tied for fourth in baseball.
So I'm assuming Tarek Skubal is your pick for the AL Central
Yeah,
as well.
like okay, like Garrett Crochet gave him a solid fight for a good chunk of the year. And Hunter Brown and Max Fried were jumping around the conversations as well. And for a short while, DeGrom might have stepped his foot in the door in the conversations. It's Skubal.
It's Skubal pretty easily.
It is quite easily Skubal.
Let's hear about the NL.
The NL, we can give other guys their flowers. We can give a guy like Christopher Sanchez, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. We can give them their flowers. They're much deserved flowers. You can give like Freddie Peralta's flowers. It's Paul Skeens.
For sure.
This is another one that I feel
It
like
is
is pretty
Paul
clear cut. I feel like the Cy Youngs this year are really easy. It's Skubal and Skeens. It's SKSK. Easy one. Another easy one.
There's probably like a 55-year-old uncle in Orillia, Ontario, looking at Paul Skeens' win-loss record. Listen, Paul Skeens having 10 wins on that Pittsburgh Pirates team
It's a miracle.
actually really good.
I'm sure you remember. You remember the year where DeGrom was like stupid good. He had like a 170 ERA or something like that on the Mets, and he was like 9 and
10
10,
and 11.
something like that, something
Yeah.
stupid. I remember seeing on certain networks. I don't think it was actually any like the baseball networks because like MLB Network is so far ahead relative to like other like leagues like networks and stuff like that. They're so far ahead and they just understand these combos better. But I remember seeing like some other networks, like some of the more like the ones you would call mainstream, and like they cover baseball because it's a sport, but they like don't actually give a fuck or have anyone knowledgeable on those panels or anything like that. Trying to say, well, DeGrom, he has a losing record. How can you win Cy Young if you're losing games? And it's like, bro, it's like, yo, this guy has never heard of run support in his life. You remember those combos?
I do remember those
I
combos,
vividly
and,
remember. I think it was was it Michael Wilbon? I remember one seeing on Twitter back in the day. Oh my god. I wanted to pull my hair out. Dude, I was like 14 years old going to bat for fucking Jacob DeGrom on Twitter, bro. Oh my god. It was stupid.
Yeah,
and then he won the Cy Young pretty easily, which he should have. This is another one. Paul Skeens, I don't want to hear anything about win-loss. I've seen the odd one here and there. The odd person here and there. I don't see it. I haven't seen it nearly as much as I did with DeGrom, because I think now that
times have changed.
Times are changing. Times have changed. Times are changing. We're moving.
I said it before. I'll say it again. The nerds are actually pretty cool right now. Nerds are pretty in baseball.
Yeah,
especially online.
Especially because they're a lot smarter and they're not latching on to stupid traditionalist narratives of, well, the pitcher lost the game, so obviously he didn't pitch well. and you look at the stat line, he went like 8 innings, allowed 1 run. Which, unironically, Skeens had a couple losses like that this year, where he'd go like 8 innings, 7 innings, allow 1 run, and he'd get the loss because the Pirates can't hit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it nearly
it's
as much.
easily Paul Skeens for me.
I've seen the odd guy here and there be like, well, maybe he should just pitch better and win the games. It's about giving your team the best opportunity to win the games, and I don't partake in these arguments as much as I used to because I just don't have the energy. But every single time I'm like, how do you give your team the best chance to win? How do you do that? You have to not let runs cross the plate, right? He has the
Run
best
prevention is the game.
He has the best ERA in the NL by over 50 points.
Sub 2.
197. Yamamoto's the next closest at 249. And even then, like, it's not even like Skeens has like Fugazi like peripherals. Not that I'm looking at peripherals in a Cy Young convo necessarily, but like still strikes out a ton of guys, doesn't walk guys. His K per 9 and strikeout per 9 are both 5th in the NL. Has the best home runs per 9, or is tied with Christopher Sanchez for the best home runs per 9 out of any qualified starting pitcher. Like if you want to look at FIP, he has the best FIP in the NL by about 20 points. He's like that. Respectfully, it's him. It is him.
It's him easily. Just one more thing with Skeens in terms of eye test. He's similar to Skubal. Obviously, he's not a lefty, but he's similar to Skubal in the sense that he throws really hard, but doesn't rely on fastball velo, like because he has really good command as well. So it's easily Paul Skeens. Did you want to do Rookie of the Year?
We'll do Rookie of the Year because there's some guys that we can talk about really quick. The
Right.
AL one I feel like is stupid easy. It's Nick Kurtz. It's easy. That one's dumb easy.
Unbelievable year from the guy.
Ridiculous. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, despite not qualifying for, let me double check this to see if it's still true because I know for a good while it was true. Let me double check this and make sure it's still correct. Let me see that. Okay, it ended up not being true by the end of the year. It was barely not true. So he did not qualify for leaderboards because he didn't have the plate appearances. But he missed being tied for the leading in FWAR among first basemen by 0.1. 0.1 lower than Matt Olson in about 250 fewer plate appearances. This guy was stupid good. From when he came up, he was a top 3 hitter in the league. From when he came up to the end of the season, 170 WRC plus, hit 36 home runs in 489 plate appearances, not even 120 games. Which again is just stupid. Like 36 home runs would have ranked tied for 10th in ball. And he's coming in here with 100 fewer plate appearances than like Joe Adele, who was 9th, and like a lot of the guys above him, like almost 200 plate appearances fewer than. He, honestly, if you extrapolated to a full 650, he hits high 40s. That's a high 40s pace.
The power is unbelievable.
Kurtz was ridiculous.
And it's as soon as he came up, because sometimes you bring up a highly touted prospect with a big power tool and doesn't start hitting home runs right away. That guy was like ridiculous from the jump.
It was a 48 home run pace, if you round it. It was like 47.8, but you round that, that's 48 home run pace over 650 plate appearances.
I'm gonna agree with you pretty easily on that pick. Yeah.
That one is a really easy one. In the NL,
the NL,
you have a couple.
It's actually
you have a couple guys in the NL.
It's pretty close between 2 guys for me. It's pretty close.
Drake Baldwin and Isaac Collins, right?
And who?
And Isaac Collins, those two.
Isaac Collins isn't on my board.
Ooh, fell off your board. I haven't peeked the rookie one in a minute. I remember those were the 2 guys where me and Ethan were really talking about midseason.
I have Drake Baldwin and Cade Horton on the Cubs.
Oh, fucking true, yeah. Cade Horton, he probably, listen, if he didn't get hurt, he probably would have started game 1 against, in either series, he probably would have started game 1. He was...
Oh, yeah, the dude is ridiculous.
Really good. I think, I have a conversation of, now that I, remembered Cade Horton, my bad, I just forgot about him. It's three guys, or it's four guys actually. It's Cade Horton, Drake Baldwin, Caleb Durbin, and Isaac Hollins. It's those four. All four of them were
My
really good.
my completely biased pick, because I'm more of a pitching fan, would be Cade Horton, but you
hmm
could make a case for any of them, really.
My pick probably ends up being Drake Baldwin because you are looking at a catcher who, number one, had the highest WAR of any of this group, which again, WARs and everything, but you are looking at a catcher with a 125 WRC plus. Out of the hitters in this group, the highest mark was a really good was a positive defender behind the dish, which is big, or not like super crazy good, but he was a solid defender behind the dish.
Yeah.
Again, 3-1 player. The only thing that really kind of holds me back for Cade Horton is, or sorry, not what holds me back for Cade Horton, but it just kind of puts Drake Baldwin over him for me, is I just like Baldwin's volume a little bit better. Not that it
Yeah.
matters all that much.
I mean, Horton only pitched 118 innings, which is good for a rookie, but yeah.
Yeah, granted, though, he did have the injury near the end of the year, the rib injury. And again, I will
Also,
say, he would have started game one for the Cubs if he didn't get injured. I understand, like, Matt Boyd, Shoto Minaga, that shows you how good he was down the stretch. He would have started game one in any
yeah,
series. He would
and
have
if
been
we
your game one
like
starter.
if we like win-loss records, he went 11-4.
He
if
did
that
go
means
11 and
anything.
4. Big was
So,
a big kind of save for the Cubs rotation down the stretch because like second half, Matt Boyd and Shoto Minaga, they were not good in the second half. They were kind of brutal second half. So
oh, pretty stinky.
they were
Yeah,
stinky. They were
if
stinky as
I'm
hell.
yeah, they're kind of the black sheep of the rotation right now. Like if there's any Cubs rotation member that you're taking home to mom, like that's gonna go over well at the dinner table, it's gonna be
Cade
Cade
Horton.
Horton right now.
You
Yeah.
know, listen, Matt Boyd might get you an HR call. Shoto Minaga might get you an HR call. Cade Horton, the boss, might say, "Yo, let's go out for a drink later." You know.
Oh man. Okay.
Um,
Um. Uh, uh, the streets are saying that we have a tier list to do.
we do have a tier list. So, on your side, I am going to hit the share screen button really quick. That is not what I want to share. Hold on. We got a bit of tier list to do. So, you pull up on here. So, for anyone who watched our World Series preview episode, Ethan and I, we did a tier list of iconic pre-World Series moments. Now, right here, we have a bunch of iconic World Series moments. And in the other tier list that we did, I mostly stuck to like recent history, the last like 25 or so years. This one, I let it rip because I'm like, there's some that I can't not include, right? So we have everything. You see some black and white. That's how far we're going back.
There's some moments.
One of these, this actually first one I'm going to talk about. This unironically is the best picture I could find of it. I actually did not know this was a World Series moment until I looked this up, which feels kind of embarrassing to look at. But yeah, we got all sorts of moments here, and I'm going to put out a disclaimer. Obviously, they're all World Series moments. They're all iconic. They're all on here for a reason. Obviously, we don't want them to be S tier, but respectfully, not all of these are S tier moments. With all due respect, not everything can be in the S tier. That's why we have A, B, C, D. That's why we have all these things. That's why we're ranking them all, relative to each other. Okay, not everything can be. But anyways,
Let's jump right into
let's
it.
jump in. So this first one, this is Babe Ruth calling his shot against the Chicago Cubs in the World Series. My cursor is not on my screen right now. What is happening? I have lost my
Calling the
cursor.
shot.
I have lost my cursor. Guys, we have an issue.
We're
I can't see my cursor.
we're working on it.
Hold
We're working
on.
getting
What
it
is
back.
happening? What is happening?
Can you try dragging like?
I can highlight. Where is my cursor?
I think you might have to just run it like that.
Okay. Oh God. Okay, I have it selected. So Babe Ruth calling his shot. This is one of the how many times have you heard someone talk about this? You see this. Babe Ruth calling a shot is ridiculously iconic. I'm not gonna lie, it becomes so iconic, and like, I didn't even know this was a World Series moment. I'll be honest with you.
No, this is one that transcends the idea of the World Series. This is a baseball moment.
Yeah, this is such a baseball thing. It's so easy to forget that this is a World Series moment, and I think that alone that puts it in the S tier.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I
That
think it's just such a massive cultural thing.
it is. I'm trying to get a feel for where's my cursor. Oh, okay, I found it. Okay, I found my cursor. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, that's an iconic one. It's hard. That's like literally the aura moment of all time. Like you go up to the dish, not to in a fucking World Series game, no less. You go up to the plate and you say, "I'm going to hit a home run over here. This is where it's gonna go, just so you're aware." And you fucking tank it right over there.
That guy was clip farming before there were clips.
Listen, he's aura farming, he's clip farming, everything. This guy this guy knew the hoes were in the building. He knew they were in the building.
What year was this?
Was it 1923? I think.
Okay.
Let me double check exactly the year. I think it was the 1923 World Series. Oh, never mind. It was 1930. Sorry, it was 1932. I got my numbers mixed up.
Okay, got you. I don't think hose would have been the word that they used back then, but the mistresses were in the stadium.
Listen, regardless of what word you would use, they're in the building. Regardless of your terminology. Next up on the list, this is the Bill Buckner error in Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. This is a tough one if you're a Red Sox fan. If you're a Mets fan, which I know one of my boys, big Mets fan. If you're a Mets fan, obviously you love this. If you're a Red Sox fan, I guess it doesn't matter as much now because you've had the 4 World Series since 2004. Before that, this is one that probably stung a lot. Much like this World Series getting blown stings for us, this is one that probably stung for them because this would have been the clinching out. This would have won the game, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think I'm putting it in. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
This would have won the World Series for the Red Sox right here in Game 6, but then this allowed the Mets to come back and they won this game, and then they won Game 7, and then they won the World Series as a whole. This is a rough one. I can't lie.
I'm gonna go top down. For me, it's not S tier.
It's not.
I think you could make an argument for both A and B tier.
I was thinking
I would be. Here's what I would propose. I think we put it in B tier for now.
That's what I was
depending
thinking.
on where we place other things. Yeah.
All right.
I think that looks right to me.
Yeah, that looks about right. Next up, we have Carlton Fisk waving his home run fair in Game 6 of I think this is the 1975 World Series. If I remember your sorry for the older ones. I don't remember the exact years. Here and there, I get the numbers mixed up. I think this was the 1975 World Series. Let me double check. Yeah, it was 1975 World Series, Game 6. This was to send it to a Game 7. Walk-off homer. He waves it fair. I'm sure you've seen this clip a bunch of times, right?
I have, yeah.
You have. This is one of those ones where not as like transcendent as like the Babe Ruth calling a shot, but this is one that is actually kind of easy to forget. This is a World Series one just because of like the iconography of the moment itself. I can't quite put it in the same tier as Babe Ruth, as the Babe Ruth called shot.
I'd be comfortable with an A tier.
I'd be comfortable with an A tier on this one too. This for the moment, send it to a Game 7. The Red Sox, they were still in the middle of the Bambino curse. So to send it to a Game 7, big, absolutely. I'll put it in A tier.
I see the next one you have is a Cubs one. I'm not sure exactly what clip
this is. I have a couple. I have two. Actually, ironically, I have 3 moments from that game in this tier list. This is specifically that Ben Zobrist go-ahead hit in the 10th inning. The Ben Zobrist double. I remember exactly what was going on when he hit this. I remember I was in 7th grade, right? Just started 7th grade. I remember it was late. I was watching this in bed, and I don't think I was supposed to be watching this late. Or maybe my mom didn't care. I don't remember. But I remember watching it, and I had it on while I was in bed. And then he hits it, and I'm like, holy fuck. They have the lead. The Cubs have the fucking lead right here, right? And this is oh so dramatic, because this series as a whole was great. This game had a lot of drama. There was the back and forth. There was another moment that we're going to get into later that happened earlier. They had I don't know if you remember this as much. They had the rain delay, and then Jason Hayward has like this big speech in the locker room with all the guys that are apparently like, some of the guys were not handling it super great. And Jason Hayward, he kind of gets everyone to lock the fuck in. And Ben Zobrist. Now, Ben Zobrist is one of those guys who he's been there before. He was on that Royals team the year before. And he ends up having the big hit to put them up. I have other moments in this game that we're going to talk about in a bit. I think this specific moment, it kind of gets overshadowed by some of the other moments, and I understand that. I can put this either high B or low A. What do you think?
I would go high B.
High B. I can understand that. Valid.
And then we can move it at the end as we see fit.
Valid. Yeah, man. Crazy moment. This one.
What a World Series.
Madison Bumgarner clocking in Game 7 of the 2014 World Series, coming in to pitch 5 innings in relief in Game 7.
I mean, so you know me. I'm a pitcher's guy. I'm biased. This is an easy A tier for me.
Easy A.
It might be low. It might be lower than the Carlton Fisk one, but it's an easy A for me.
We'll put it here. We can sort out the orders later. This is an A. This is to put the stamp on one of the best postseason runs by any pitcher ever. I think by like championship win probability added, it's the second best. I think it's the second highest by like, and I think it loses out by like 0.2 because Mad Bum was just like ridiculous. Like, pretty sure he had a complete game in the series. He had another 6-inning, really good start in the series, and he comes out of the bullpen. They get a short outing from who started the game? Was it Tim Hudson? I think started the game, and Mad Bum comes in 5 innings out of the pen. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Inhuman at that point. Yeah, unbelievable.
It makes me miss prime Mad Bum because holy fuck, bro, this guy was just different.
Yeah, absolutely all-time moment. Shades of Yoshi Yamamoto, unfortunately.
I'd argue it was the other way around. It was shades. He wore shades.
Yoshi was
Shades
no,
of
Mad
this.
Bum was better. As good as Yoshi was, Mad Bum was better. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like one of the best pitching. This is like debatably the best overall like World Series pitching performance ever. Debatably.
Prime Mad Bum was something to see.
He was different. He was fucking different. I miss Prime Mad Bum, bro.
Yeah, Diamondbacks fans do too.
Okay,
what is our next Cubs?
This is the Cubs actually the final out of that. I don't know about you. This call is ingrained in my brain. The Joe Buck call. This is gonna be a tough play, Bryant. The Cubs win the World Series.
Yeah.
Bryant makes the play. It's over, and the Cubs have finally won it all. 8, 7, and 10. Sorry for the voice cracks, everyone. I'm working over an illness right now, so the voice isn't all the way there. So, my bad.
So hear me out on this one, okay? If it wasn't the Cubs and it wasn't 2016, it would probably be even an argument for C tier.
Mm-hmm.
However, because it was the curse-breaking Cubs World Series win, for me it's actually probably A tier.
This is A. This might have an argument for S. Genuinely might have an argument.
It might.
We might be able to move it up
again,
later.
Like, if it wasn't the Cubs, it would be a different conversation.
But again, there's everything that we got to take into account here. It's more than just the strict baseball value of, okay, it was this play, it was in this game, blah, blah, blah. There's everything we have to take into account here, right? They were down. I remember. They were down 3-1 in the series, which I feel like, ironically, as crazy as it sounds, I feel like people like remember this. Oh yeah, they remember the Cubs curse being broken. They remember how good of a series it was. I feel like, ironically, it's actually kind of easy to forget they were down 3-1. And then not to mention how dramatic this game was, which you talked about with the Zobrist thing. They broke a 108-year curse. 108 years. Let me say that again, because again, it's easy to forget this because now their drought's 9 years, right? Like, who gives a fuck? 108 years. Okay? That is longer than most lifetimes. And this is even the first time they'd been in the World Series in what, 60 years, something like that. It was something stupid.
Fan that lived and died a full healthy life between World Series wins for the Cubs.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I could put it in S tier.
We could put it in S. We'll put it honestly. Oh, my cursor's. Where's my cursor? Oh, what happened? What's happened? All right, technical difficulties. We're back. You'll notice the rest of the tier list in a different order. I had to reload the entire thing. I have access to my cursor now, which is great.
That helps. Yeah, that helps.
That does help. That does definitely help. So, we are back. We are most definitely back. I have access to my cursor, which always a fantastic thing. But yeah, we'll put an S tier for right now. This one. I think I put everything in there that we had already. Oh, the Mad Bum one. We put this A tier. I forgot to put that one in. Yeah, okay. I had to reload everything and put it back in. Everything's in a different order now.
I see a Yankee.
This is Derek Jeter's walk-off. This is his Mr. November game. Game 4 of the 2001 World Series. This is the one that kind of made him Mr. November. Obviously, you have Reggie Jackson. The Mr. October one's later in this tier list, but Mr. November. This is what kind of crowned him as that. This is like you don't get November baseball, and then he hits the walk-off home run. I don't know about you. I'm thinking a nice B tier for this. I think that this would. You know why this is not in like an A or an S tier? You know why?
Because the Yankees didn't win.
Because of this. It's because of this over here.
Yeah.
This, if they win the series, this is probably an A, maybe an S. I'm thinking that right now this is probably like a B tier.
I would even argue for high C.
Well,
honestly,
we do need to balance out this tier list. Excuse me. We can put it in C right now. This could move up to B.
It could, yeah.
Like, you just have the Mr. November thing. One of the first, like,
everything.
I'm pretty sure it's like one of the first baseball games that was ever played in November, if not the first. Yeah. The guy hits the walk-off home run to win the game, but they end up losing that series. That's a big thing. So
I think we might end up moving that one up, but that's okay for now. Yeah.
We will. Yeah. We'll have a look at it later.
Yeah, we'll just run through them and then we'll edit it at the end.
Yeah, we'll have a look at this one. So this next one, Edgar Renteria's walk-off to win Game 7 of the 1997 World Series. Listen, do you want to know what inning this was in?
What inning was it?
This was in the 11th inning. Game 7.
Okay, 97 was Marlins over
Cleveland.
Marlins over Cleveland, okay.
Marlins over Cleveland. I'm just putting it out there. Game 7, World Series, 11th inning. Could have had it. Anyways, I think that's S tier. It's hard to top that. Like,
I mean, it is hard to top that. I think I would agree with that.
It's hard to top.
I mean, it's Game 7. I like Game 7. All right, we know in Toronto for various different reasons that Game 7 is a. Oh, I'm not just talking about baseball. But we know Game 7 is a thing. So yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's move on from that depressing thought.
This is not one individual play. I just had to include this on here. I don't know about you. This is still the best individual game of baseball I've ever watched. This is, as a whole, Game 5 of the 2017 World Series between the Astros and Dodgers. Do you remember this game or no?
This was the one that went back and forth, and then both teams ended up scoring double-digit runs.
They combined to score 25 runs. It was back and forth the entire game. Gurriel hits a 3-run home run in like the 4th inning, 5th inning, whatever, off Kershaw that ties the game. Bellinger hits a home run later that makes it 7-4. Then in the bottom of the inning, Altuve makes it 7-8. And then Springer makes a bad defensive play that ends up letting the Dodgers score a run. And then he comes back the bottom of the inning and makes it 8-8. And then Correa hits another home run later in the inning. That makes it... That gives them... that increases the lead. And then the Dodgers later, they come back and they tie the game. And then the Astros walk it off in the bottom of the 10th. Like, holy fuck. This is the single best game of baseball I've ever watched in my life.
You can tell me if this is recency bias, but I'm putting that in A tier above both of the things we already have in A tier.
Oh, honestly, yeah. This game as a whole, if this happened Game 7, this is the single greatest game of baseball ever played. It's not close. Nothing else has an argument. And this would be the top of S tier, and I would not take any conversations otherwise. I can feel with A. Low key, my heart wants to put an S because this game is different, but I can put it in A. But holy fuck, this game, man! Oh my god, this game is different.
Absolutely.
In saying all those moments, I probably forgot something because that's just how insane this game was. I probably forgot something in there. Like I probably did.
Was the Altuve homer off Chapman in that game or no?
No. That was 2019.
Oh,
that was the LCS.
ALCS.
That was the LCS a few years later.
Yeah. The Yankees, famous National League team.
Yeah, noted NL team, the New York Yankees.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, this is Kirk Gibson, Game 1 of the 1980. It was 89 or 88. Game 1, 1988 World Series. Game 1. Comes off the bench. This guy is so injured. Do you understand to what extent this guy was injured, Sam?
He basically had one leg.
He basically couldn't, he literally could barely walk.
Yeah.
He comes off the bench, pinch hit, Game 1, hits the walk-off home run. His only plate appearance of the series, by the way. Only PA of the series.
So looking at our tier list right now, I think we need to make a change. I think what needs to happen is the Dodgers-Astros game needs to move up to S tier, and the Kirk Gibson home run needs to replace it in A tier.
Replace it in A tier? You want to put it here, or do you want to put it... Oh, okay, we'll put it here. We'll figure out the order later.
Yeah, I think that looks... what do you think about that? That looks right to me.
That looks right, because that's just, that's a crazy moment. I feel like this, if it's me, this is probably the low end of A tier. I don't know about you, but coming off the bench in a game... This is aura. This is aura, respectfully.
Maybe slide it between Mad Bum and Carlton Fisk.
Yeah, sure. We'll put it right here.
I think, yeah, that looks good.
There's something different about, number one, again, barely being able to walk. Like, the guy was so hobbled, he may as well have, not even been on the roster. It was, literally, Bo Bichette for us in, the first 2 rounds. The guy, couldn't play baseball.
Yeah.
Comes off the bench. Only plate appearance of the entire series is coming off the bench in Game 1 to walk it off. That's tough. That's tough as hell, man.
Unreal stuff.
Not to mention,
one of the most...
even, the celebration and little fist pump he does is kind of iconic, too. That way he does that little thing around the...
One of the most iconic clips of all time.
It's
in baseball.
It kind of becomes like a verbiage. When we were saying... prior to Game 7 of the ALCS, we were talking George Springer, Kirk Gibson moment. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely it has taken on a life of its own now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that spot looks appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think that can absolutely do it. All right. Up next, we have Scott Podsednik's walk-off home run in Game 2 of the 2005 World Series. This, ironically, I feel kind of gets overshadowed because of the Paul Konerko home run, which is like two things away from what we're gonna do. But this was the walk off that this put them up 2-0 going back to Houston. Well, going to Houston, put them up 2-0 and put them in complete control of the series. A or B?
Yeah,
What do you think?
I'm thinking high B. It's a really good moment. It's big momentum shift in the White Sox favor, and they eventually won that series over an absolutely ridiculous Astros squad. That team was insane. I think high B looks right to me right now.
Sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, I can get behind that. We can move anything around later, but I think this totally makes sense. The only thing with this thing, like, it kind of gets overshadowed by the Konerko grand slam earlier in the game, which I mean, kind of understandable because, like, that's the star of the team, and that's just like even bigger. But yeah, I can get with that high B. Sam, do you see what's next?
My eyes are not that good. No.
This is
Do I see Alejandro Kirk though?
Not for a good reason. This is
Okay.
Miguel Rojas taking Jeff Hoffman deep in Game
It's
7.
A tier. It's A
Fuck.
tier.
It's A or S, man, and it kills me. This kills me.
Dude, it might be S.
It kind of is S.
I think it's S.
It is S. It is S tier. This kills me. Listen, when the game ended, when I started thinking about Pod eventually, and I started remembering this, I was like, fuck, that has to be on the tier list, bro. That has to be there. I was thinking, like, prior to the game, I was low-key thinking about the Pod really quick, and I was like, there's going to be something in this game that happens that's on the tier list. And for a lot of that game, it looked like it was going to be the Bo Bichette home run. And that probably would have been like an A tier. Fuck, man.
Listen, before that game happened, Miggy Rowe would have been remembered as a very solid player, carved out a good career for himself. Now he will never buy a drink in Los Angeles again.
He is never buying anything in Los Angeles. Everything, it's on the house. That man will be a legend in LA for all eternity because of this. Also, the play to keep IKF from scoring in the 9th. And also, he was the one who kind of scooped the short hop throw from Kike at the end of Game 6.
It's S tier, unfortunately.
Fucking kills me, but it's S tier. Fuck, bro. All right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk about this home run. Anyways, Paul Konerko grand slam. This is the same game as the Podsednik home run. Grand slam. I think did this tie the game or just make it a one-run game? I can't remember. Let me double check exactly. I can't remember if this tied the game or if this made it like a one-run game or something. I want to say this tied the game, I would feel like. Or what happened here.
What would you think about this? I propose that we...
Oh, sorry, they gave them a 6-4 lead. Never mind.
Okay, that's big.
Sorry, this gave them the lead. My bad, guys. My bad. That's on me.
We do a little misinformation on the Down Live podcast, but we
do. It happens. Noted schizo. Listen, it's a scheduled Nick schizo moment. It happens. It's a trademark of the show. It happens here and there. Listen, like,
shout out Kyle Finnegan.
Noted left-handed pitcher Kyle Finnegan. It happens here and there. It happens.
So I think what we need to do is move Podsednik down and then slide down further in B tier and then slide. Yeah.
Like go here, you think?
That looks right.
I wouldn't put this above here. Depending on what this happens, I think this might end up in the same tier as the missed November home run. Whether that.
Why don't we actually go ahead? Let's go ahead and do that right now.
You want to put it here? We'll put it here. These could end up being me later. We'll see. We'll see how it ends up.
Yeah. All right. What do we got?
Not to knock a walk off in the World Series, but like you also gotta. Actually, wait, hold on. I want to do one thing. Actually, I want to put this here because I struggle to put that above these two personally. What do you think?
Yeah, that looks right.
Yeah,
I mean, that Zobrist double was, dude. Yeah.
it was different. Not to knock any World Series moments, but it's like they're all iconic World Series moments, so something has to be low. All right,
Yeah, something else. Yeah.
next up, we got Freddie Freeman's walk-off grand slam against the Yankees in Game 1 of the 2024 World Series.
So this one was very recent, and I remember this is one of the only ones, apart from the Cubs one, that had the opportunity to watch live because I was too young for a lot of these, as were you. I think if you were to ask me, and I'm including my recency bias, I would probably say like A.
Yeah,
I would probably have to go B.
I can put this in B tier. I probably put it above the Konerko Grand Slam, but again,
I would
I
agree.
would struggle to put it above like the Bill Buckner era or like the Ben Zobrist double. I'd struggle to put it above those, but
Yeah, I think that is good. Yeah.
I put it there. I mean, it was the first walk-off Grand Slam in World Series history. All right, that is nothing to take lightly. Walk-off in the World Series again, not to knock it, but
But not Freddie Freeman's last career walk-off home run in the
stop,
World Series.
stop, stop,
Okay, let's
stop
move
it,
on.
bro. Stop it, bro. Howie Kendrick taking Will Harris deep
Oh
in
man.
Game 7 of the 2019 World Series. I almost, for some reason, said 1997. That is not 1997. I don't know why I almost misspoke there. I think I was looking up at the Edgar Renteria one when I said it. To
Like
give them
I love
a
my
3-2 lead.
Cinderella run national.
And this is like the definition of a Cinderella run too, because they started off the year really poor, so much so that the Twitter admin for like the next year would not shut the fuck up about 19 and 31. Like to the
I
point where
think
it was like legitimately like super annoying, and it's like, all right, we get it.
I could be super off on this. I think the spot I see for it is above Freddie, behind Buckner.
Ooh, I was gonna put this in A tier, like around where Mad Bum is, because this gave them the lead in Game 7, and like was it the seventh inning, maybe it was the sixth.
Okay. You know what? I could
I
I
don't
could
know
be
about
sold on
you.
it later.
I think that has to go a little higher than where Freddie
What?
is.
Why don't we put it in A tier and then we'll decide where in A tier after.
We'll put it here because
Okay.
this was dramatic because obviously coming into the year, right? Nationals have you remember I don't know if you remember all the discourse of this Nationals team, but like obviously this is the year that Harper left, and this is the first year without Bryce Harper, but even before that, the Nationals in this run that they've been making the playoffs since like 2012 or so, they had never won a playoff series. Lost to the Cardinals, lost to the Giants, lost to the Cubs, lost to whoever. And they go on this run. They win the wild card game against the Brewers, who, yeah, whatever. They didn't have Yelich, but whatever. It's a one game. You're not going to tell me injuries, whatever, right? They win against the Brewers. Then they're going up against the Dodgers, who were ridiculous that year. Took them to the Game 5. Howie Kendrick hits the grand slam in extras that game, by the way. I don't know if you remember that. You probably do. I don't know why I'm saying that. Hits the grand slam in that game. Then they absolutely just dominate the Cardinals in the NLCS. And then every single road team to this point had won the game in the World Series. Every single road team, every single game was won by the road team this series.
One of the best World Series ever, I think.
Absolutely. This World Series was electric. This World
Yeah,
Series was
this one
insane. And then
17 was fantastic. Yeah.
17, 16, 19. Unfortunately, like 25 was also a spectacular series from a completely objective
Oh my God.
standpoint,
Unbelievable.
which pains me to say because I'd love to forget parts of it, but it is what it is. But this is like go ahead home run late in the game. Also, easy to forget, Will Harris was really good. Will
Yeah,
Harris
that
was
was a guy.
really fucking good for the Astros for quite some time at this point. And
Okay.
Howie Kendrick, of all people, is the one, not Juan Soto, not Anthony Rendon. Howie Kendrick takes him deep to give them the lead in Game 7. Chills.
I think I'm comfortable with it in A tier.
Chills, bro. I
I think
remember
I'm comfortable.
I remember I made some edit back in the day and I put like the Titanic music over it or something. And the Celine Dion, they really kick in when it hits the foul pole or foul netting or whatever. Oh my god.
So I think for the next one, I think I see two that we need to do in the same conversation. I think I see number one and number four. I believe is number
This
four
one?
Bill Mazeroski.
This is Bill
Yeah.
Mazeroski, yeah.
Okay. So Joe Carter and Bill Mazeroski.
These are both S tier and it's not a convo, respectfully.
Yeah, it's just a matter of where do we feel like putting them in.
So Bill Mazeroski, with all due respect, is at worst here. It is at worst below the Babe Ruth one. If you want to say that the Babe Ruth calling a shot is the thing that transcends baseball and that makes it number one, then I understand. Bill Mazeroski, Game 7 walk-off home run, the only walk-off home run in the World Series in Game 7 ever.
I think
It is hard. I don't think you can script a better moment than that, to be completely honest.
I think it goes above Babe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's personally what I was thinking. You could argue that the Babe Ruth just being a thing that transcends baseball. I could say, sure, I could live with it being two. Whatever.
For
But
Joe,
I think there was no argument for Bill Mazeroski being any lower than two.
no, I don't
Not,
think
not
so.
to mention
For
the
Joe,
Pirates. Also, I just want to talk about this really quick. Easy to forget. The
Yeah.
Pirates had just coughed up the lead right before this. In like the, I don't remember if it was top 9 or the top of the 8th or something. They had just coughed up the lead. And then Bill
one of the most
Mazeroski.
iconic black and white clips in baseball.
Exactly. Probably the black and white clip,
Probably.
if anything. Now, Joe
For
Carter.
Joe, I actually struggle to put him above the Cubs winning it.
I
I'm not sure
I
if
agree.
I can do that.
The Cubs one is different. There's so much historical significance that goes into the Cubs one.
It's 108 years of pain. The context is important. The Blue Jays were terrible from 1977 when they became a team to like 1982, 3, and then they were just really good until they won the World Series. So like the trauma isn't necessarily the same as it was for the Cubs. So
It's like the worst they had is what they blew the ALCS in '85, and I mean, not to say that this reduces the significance, but they had also won the World Series the year before. Granted, I will say though they were trailing in this inning, so like a double play, for example, I don't remember if it was 1 out or no outs or what the outs were, but like they could have gone to Game 7 right there, depending on what happened on the play.
it is a walk-off home run to win the World Series. I think it probably goes ahead of that Astros Dodgers.
It goes here. Do you want to put it above Renteria or do you want to put it right below? What do you think?
Let's go right above for now.
We'll put it there.
I think that looks
We'll
good
see.
for now.
We'll
Yeah.
see. These two could flip flop. The other ones, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable putting them before those. This
Yeah, we're pretty much on the same page with that. Yeah.
Don Larson, perfect game in Game 5 of the 1956 World Series. And let me tell you something. This might have to be S tier. Perfect game. This was the clincher, by the way. Let me put it out there. This is the clinching game of the World Series. Don Larson throws a perfect game. This was also a redemption. This was not the clinching game. My bad. I don't know why I said this was the clincher. It was not. But he had a big. Am I misremembering my years? Wait, hold on. What the hell? Okay, anyways, Don Larson, perfect game, Game 5 in the 1956 World Series for the Yankees. This was a redemption start for him because he had kind of stunk it up earlier in the series. Okay? I'm gonna take you back really quick. And no, I was not watching. Unfortunately, I was like 50 years away from being. I was almost 50 years away from being a fetus when this game happened. Don Larson in Game 2 was not that great. In fact, he did not make it out of the second inning in Game 2. So this was a redemption start for him. He throws the only perfect game in World Series history. This gave the Yankees the 3-2 series lead. They were down 2-0. They won game 3, they won game 4. Don Larson, boom, wins this game, pretty much single-handedly wins this game, because their offense didn't really score much. They only won this game 2-0. Puts them in the driver's seat, and then they end up winning the series.
So it's S tier. The question is where in S tier?
The question is where. I can understand, actually, this might sound crazy, I can understand putting it right where it is, actually, right at the bottom. Because I understand there's been no other perfect game. Actually, now I'm saying that, this could go higher.
I think I put it above Miggy Rowe because that home run didn't win the World Series.
True.
Like, it wasn't the winning run.
True.
It was the Will Smith home run. I think, yeah.
True. I can understand that. So S tier is becoming really stacked.
I mean, there's a lot of good ones.
There is. I mean, that's for a reason, because it's iconic. Next one. This is going to be near the top of S tier. Luis Gonzalez walks off Mariano Rivera to win Game 7 of the 2001 World Series.
I think I see an easy spot for it. Let me know if you agree. I think behind Joe, above Renteria.
I was going to say it's right around Joe. The argument is, does it go above or below Joe?
I think Joe's being a home run. Again, home runs are the sexiest. I think that plays a big part in this discussion.
Fair.
They're both walk-off hits to win the World Series. Walking off the Yankees, though, as a very new team, the Diamondbacks were at the time. That's
not just walking off the Yankees. This was them. I think they were trying to go for 4 in a row here. Not just walking off the Yankees. It was Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, the best closer of all time as a lefty with the cutter, running into your hand.
Tell me, Sam, what number is higher? The amount of people who have walked on the moon, or the amount of people who have scored off Mariano Rivera in the postseason?
The moon.
Yeah, more men have walked on the moon than men have scored against Mariano Rivera in the postseason.
Oh, he's one of these like Aaron Judge, Barry Bonds guys that just wasn't human. Yeah, ridiculous.
Unhuman. I think that plays a factor into it as well. Because I don't know if it's above or behind Joe. I think we can just leave it there. We'll leave it there and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
All right, next up, I should have got a better photo for this. My bad. This is Pujols' 3 home run game in the 2011 World Series. There's another thing in the series later that majorly overshadows this. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think that one is gonna be pretty. We'll get to it.
I can put this in B or C.
I think because we have nothing in the C, throw it in C.
We'll put it in C. We'll put it right here. I think it's below the other ones. My bad. I should have got a better picture. My bad, but it is what it is.
It might be higher if not for the one that we'll get to eventually.
Oh yeah. Next up, Rajai Davis.
Oh boy.
Holy fuck.
Oh boy.
This might still be S tier even though they lost this game.
It's definitely bigger than the Zobrist double.
Yes.
Which knocks it into A tier.
Let's put it into context here. Right? We know, I mean, we've kind of put the series into enough context. We've talked about 2 moments from this game already, right? The Indians were up 3-1 in the series. They come into this game. They're trailing 6-4. It's the bottom of the 8th. There's 2 outs. It's now a 2-strike count on Rajai Davis. You're facing debatably the best closer of this whole generation, Aroldis Chapman, near the peak of his powers, right? Rajai Davis is another one of those guys. He's a speed and defense guy. You're not really expecting him to really do anything offensively. And he comes up.
Blue Jays legend, by the way.
Blue Jays legend, Rajai Davis. A's legend, Rajai Davis. Tigers legend, Rajai Davis. Everything. And legitimately, full stop, unironically, Cleveland Indians legend Rajai Davis. He takes a low and in pitch from Chapman and golfs it into the left field seats.
Okay,
Everything is iconic, bro.
the
The
question
Joe, the
for me
Joe.
is, would you say it's bigger, or not as big as the Miggy Rowe home run?
I think it's right there with it. I think the question is, does it go above or below? Um, I understand saying, well, the Miguel Rojas one, it was in the ninth inning, but I can also say well, the Roger Davis one, they were down two. They were down multiple runs. And also, with all due respect, Jeff Hoffman is not prime Aroldis Chapman. As much as he was dominant in the playoffs and as good as he is, he's not prime Aroldis Chapman. With all due respect.
I would put it behind Miggy Rowe, but still in S tier.
It's right there with it. I think it's a matter of if it goes above or below. I don't know what you. This is another one where the Joe Buck call, the Matt Vasgersian call, the crowd reaction. Oh my god!
It's an all-time moment, and that's what we're doing. We're doing all-time.
All time. These are all time
It's-
moments.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, it speaks for itself. Anyone listening that hasn't seen the clip, you need to watch the clip.
If you, for some reason, don't know this, just look up Rajay Davis. Do you remember? If you remember this, when we were watching Game 6 at my place, and after we're on YouTube, we're doing the karaoke stuff, and whoever was taking my laptop over, and they see Rajay Davis in the search bar, and Harsh is like, "Yo, why do you have Rajay Davis in your search bar?" It's because I was rewatching this clip. I was rewatching this because holy fuck.
The spot looks right to me. Well, we're gonna edit it after. It looks right to me right now.
We will.
Would I be getting ahead of myself to skip ahead to David Freese because I'm excited to talk about it?
Sure. Where do you? This is all-time moment. Listen, I understand now exactly what every single Rangers fan probably felt in this moment. You were a strike away from winning the World Series, and David Freese comes up, hits a 2-run triple. Also, Nelson Cruz, defensive fumble of the century, letting it become a 2-run triple.
What the fuck is a defensive replacement in late innings?
What is a defensive replacement in late innings? I don't know what their bench was looking like, so I can't comment on that. But, oh my god.
Would I be crazy to place this number 2 on our list overall?
Oh.
Is that crazy? Is that crazy?
My initial thought was between Joe and the Cubs win.
Oh, it's bigger than that.
I would not be opposed to putting it above the Cubs win. I wouldn't even hate to, just because of like it sounds crazy because it's like this didn't even and part of it feels crazy because it didn't even win them the World Series, but this is like legitimately so ridiculous because there's the 2-run and then he fucking hits the walk-off later. Also, he hit the early hit in Game 7 that gave him the lead that really they never looked back from.
Yeah.
If you want to factor that in here, if you want.
I'm factoring everything David Freese did into it. Yeah. And I'm personally putting it just below Bill Mazeroski.
I'll compromise with you. I'll compromise with you because my initial thought was right here. You're saying right here. I'll compromise. We'll put it right here.
That looks perfect.
We'll meet in the middle. We'll put it right there.
That
all right?
Looks good. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have the Red Sox breaking the Bambino curse and finally winning the World Series in 2004.
So it's got to be around the Cubs one.
Around the Cubs one. I don't think it is as high because this does not have nearly as much going for it. I think this was like 80 something years, which that's not to diminish it. That's still a fuck ton of time. But it's not 108. And granted, there was heartbreak leading into this too. For example, like there was this, which there was this series, which they didn't win either one. I don't think it's as high as the Cubs. I think it maybe goes around here, maybe.
I was thinking either there or just above Luis, but I think there looks good.
Yeah.
It's definitely above Renteria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that looks good.
That's what That's what I'm
Our S
thinking.
tier is
It
getting
is
there.
mad crowded, but listen, this is kind of the thing that we might have to iron it out later, or unless we just want to have a fuck ton of S tier moments. Listen, if they're worthy, they're worthy. Um, there's a reason why they're all on here to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Um, now Reggie Jackson, this is the Mr. October game. This is the 3 home run game that won them the World Series. This, I think, I listen respectfully. I don't think I can put this in S tier. I
I
think
don't think so either.
I gotta go A tier, maybe A or B. What do you think?
I go A tier.
I go A tier.
Probably.
I go A tier
I
right
can
below
go.
the Carlton Fisk one. That's what I say. What do you think?
It's right around there.
What
I
does
think.
your
I
heart
think
say?
I'm in agreement with that.
You in
I'm in
agreement with that?
agreement with that. Yeah.
This one we can skip over a little bit. This one, all right. We need something to go in a lower tier. Thank God this one's it. This is Corey Seager tying Game 1 of the 2023 World Series.
That's D tier. I'm
That
sorry.
is D tier.
That's the easy D
D
tier.
tier. It's crazy because I was watching this clip back and I'm like, fuck, this is so chills. It is
It's
such
such
a
a sick
chills moment. Like, they're down. It's Paul Sewald, which sounds crazy to just say the name off Paul Sewald. Paul Sewald was ridiculous that year. He was
It's crazy 'cause
insane.
it's such an insane moment and it deserves to be on this list, but like it's not even close
To
to
any of these, right? Also Corey Seager's like little like roar or whatever he does, like his reaction, the crowd reaction was ridiculous. It's D tier. Respectfully, this is
such
the lowest one on this list.
such a sick moment, but yeah. No,
Respectfully, no. The last one we have here, this is the Willie Mays basket catch
no. Oh.
in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series. Now, some things to take in.
Is that at the Polo Grounds?
Yes. 425 feet this ball went. And he
Okay,
caught it.
I have seen the clip, but I haven't seen it in a while.
425
So,
feet. This also saved a really crucial run in the 8th inning, by the way. I think it was the go-ahead run that he saved by making this catch. Obviously, that is big on its own. There's also the iconography. Like, every baseball fan just knows the Willie Mays catch. And like this catch, this is like his signature catch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of players in baseball that are kind of defined by like certain moments in their career. Like, Babe Ruth, you could say it's him calling his shot. Barry Bonds, you want to say it's seven. Shut up, bro. Shut the fuck. You want to say Barry Bonds, it's like him hitting 756. Willie Mays, it might be the basket. It might be this catch.
I think this. I could see an argument for low S tier or high A tier. I'm looking at our S tier. I can't put it above. At minimum, I can't put it above Dodgers Astros.
Yeah, that would be, I think, the highest it goes would be right below that.
Like,
I don't think I can.
think-
I can't put it above the perfect game. And respectfully, these are game-tying home runs in Game 7 of the World Series.
How would we feel about like just above Mad Bum?
I can get with that. I can get with this. I can get with this.
So how should we edit? Should we go from top down or bottom up?
All right, let's go top down. Is
Okay.
there anything here that you want to? First off, do you want to switch the order of anything? I'm looking at this and I'm kind of fine with the order of everything, of where everything is.
In S tier, I actually am fine with it. I mean, you know how I feel about the freeze one, but we did come to a compromise on it, so I think we should just leave it there.
Yeah, we can do a compromise. We met each other in the middle, so totally cool with that.
Luis looks good. The Red Sox looks good. Renteria might have an argument to like swap down with the Dodgers Astros game.
That game is so
maybe.
fucking iconic, bro. Listen,
We don't have to. It's not a big deal.
yeah, we can leave it where it is.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the S tier then. Yeah.
Yeah, we can leave the S tier. Pretty much where it is. Oh, it's not going to move anything there anyways. A tier, do we want to move anything down, anything up?
So, so the question for me would be Howie Kendrick home run or Kirk Gibson home run.
I don't know about you. I'm going Howie Kendrick. It's a go ahead home run in Game
Okay.
7.
Okay.
As
I
iconic
mean,
as the Kirk Gibson one is, it is hard to top. Um, it's hard to top going ahead in Game 7. You know what I
I
mean?
think my 2019 World Series love is just gonna. We can keep it where it is. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with the rest of A tier.
Mm-hmm. Kirk Gibson, Carlton Fisk. Well, yeah. I think I'm fine with most of this list. Anything below, I'm fine with. Um,
Yes, I mean C tier and D tier. We don't really need to bug with.
yeah.
Bill Buckner, Zobrist. Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah. This looks like a pretty solid one to me.
The only question would be, does the Corey Seager home run even deserve to be on the board? Like,
Crazy.
it's a sick moment. No, it's an amazing moment. But like that World Series was, I don't know. Like just compared to everything else we have on the board.
Listen, that's why it's D tier. That's why it's D tier.
That's true. That's true.
That's
That's
why it's in the D tier. That's why the D tier exists. It's for something like this. With all due respect to Corey Seager, that's a fucking sick clip. I love watching that clip. But respectfully,
Yeah, no.
it just does not stack up to anything else on here.
No.
With all due respect to Corey Seager, with all due respect to the Rangers, and everyone who loved that series and watched that clip and was there and everything, with all due respect, it does not stack up to whatever else is on this list. I hate to break to you.
I think I'm fine with the order we have.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I can work with it.
Well, there's your World Series moments tier list.
All right. Yep. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah. We'll have. Well, I'm sure we'll have some visuals out. Anyone on the down the line end, there will be stuff. We'll post the actual list itself on the Instagrams and the Twitters and all that. Follow those pages if you don't already. Anyone watching on the YouTube side of things, you will actually have the visual to be able to follow. So yeah.
Yep. And on the Eastside Show side of things, we're a poverty franchise and we don't have visuals. So
Ooh. Yeah, you guys are. That's tough, bro.
So please, I encourage you to watch it on YouTube.
That means come to my end, guys. No, I'm kidding.
Noted poverty franchise.
Noted poverty franchise, the Eastside Show. You guys are like the Milwaukee Brewers, or what? Like, what are you guys?
Like we make the playoffs, but
The play-
you can count on us to be in the dance. Yeah,
you have to be in the dance. That's kind of it.
we're there.
That's kind of it. You're there for the ride.
We're there for the ride.
That's crazy.
I think that may be a wrap on our World Series autopsy. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think?
Yeah, I think that might be it for the post-mortem World Series. Yeah.
Just what a heartbreaking way to end what was such a fantastic season for your Toronto Blue Jays.
I had visions of going downtown and celebrating right after, because obviously I live literally right there. I had a vision of the Megapod and we're all celebrating. We're all getting fucking turned on the microphone, and we're all celebrating.
But, life goes on.
And we're doing this tier list in a much more joyous way, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, and I guess this was a little bit of catharsis for us both in a way.
Happens sometimes.
It does happen. Baseball is baseball, and hopefully the tier list can be a consolation.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully a little consolation.
But yeah,
that'll be a wrap. Anyone on the down the line end, as we always say, if you listened for the whole thing, if you listened for 5 minutes, if you listened for any duration, thank you so much. Of course, the listening means everything. We will be back soon enough with a little off-season preview kind of thing. Free agencies, predictions, all that sort of stuff. It's off-season, expect to see ranking stuff, all that from us. But again, yeah, if you listen to the show for any duration of time, we thank you loads. It means everything. And, you will catch us when the real off-season episodes start to roll in. Sam, what do you got
Oh
for your
yeah,
guys?
I know you guys have content lined up.
We had it lined up. I got pretty much a blueprint of a whole almost everything. And you know what's funny, Sam? Actually, I said that, and I said that before I remembered that the WBC is happening in March. So we got a whole bunch
Oh,
of stuff.
the,
Oh,
the fans are eating. The people are eating.
we will be eating. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's gonna be no shortage of stuff to talk about. We got stuff. I got everything lined up. Don't worry. I got the fun segments. I got the main segments. I got it already. So don't worry. And don't worry. Ethan will be back. Ethan's just a little under the weather right now, and I don't just mean like World Series tough. Like he's sick. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. He'll be
Thank
back.
you. Thank you everyone for listening to this special edition of the Eastside Show and Down the Line sort of mashup.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just take the opportunity to thank all the people over the last year, maybe 2 years at this point, who have contributed to the Eastside Show. Of course, Nico, we really appreciate
Of
all
course.
the appearances you've had on the show,
Of
and Harsh
course.
Kumar, big ups,
Of
host of the
course.
Harsh Talks Hockey podcast,
I was looking the other
and
day
Mike.
because oh sorry I shouldn't have interrupted that part. My bad. Finish.
No, you're good. You're good. And also my co-host for this season, Sam, who isn't here on this episode, but will be back for our next episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was looking and I was like, because I know your episodes are a little shorter, and I know me and Ethan, we love to fucking yap, and our episodes are long as hell. And I was like, I wonder if all his longest episodes are with me. And before your pre-World Series one, all your longest episodes were all the ones where I was on there. I think it's hilarious because listen,
we get into it.
listen, a guy loves to yap here and there, but yeah, yeah. Shout out to our friends at the Eastside Show for doing the little cross episode. I'm sure this will not be the last one. Surely it will not. It won't be. Sure, we'll be back with. I'm sure we'll be back with more megapods down the
We
way.
have plenty of ball. We have plenty of ball to talk about.
Plenty of all to talk about. I'm sure we'll be back. I'm sure we'll be back down the line later.
Shout
Shout
out.
out. Shout out, bro. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be back. We'll have more megapods down the line, but of course, always good to have a little joint episode. Always good to have some fun. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's a little last goodbye. Thank you to everyone who supported us during the 2025 season. I know we kind of started in a weird part. We started right at the deadline, but thank you to anyone who has joined us for any part of the ride. We look forward to having a fun off season, and we look forward even more so to a fun 2026 season. Yeah, me, Ethan, our friends at Eastside Show, we all got it. We'll be back. We'll see y'all later. Everyone take care. Peace out.
We'll be back.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening.